Hi everybody, welcome back to My Hips Don't Lie with Debora Utley. We are on day 19 of my recovery from my hip surgery. Coming to you live from none other than the Yellow Room. While I'm starting hour 3 on my CPM machine. But I did take a shower right before, so coming to you live fresh from the shower. I am allowed to shower by myself now. Amazing. So super fun. So I spent most of the shower today. I'm still trying to get the tape off of literally my entire thigh and backside. So when they did my bandages from my sutures from where they went in, I had 3 cuts on the side of my hip. I came home with like this huge packing and tape everywhere. So we were allowed to take it off on day 3, which I think I waited till day 4 because I just wanted to be sure, because again, I'm not great at math. So does the surgery day count as day 1? So I waited till day 4. But when we took the bandages off, the tape was like, that is serious tape. So I have taken 5 showers or whatever since my surgery. I know that doesn't sound like a lot in 19 days, but I told you I would not be showering a lot. It was too complicated. But now we're back in the swing of things. Anyway, day 19, tape everywhere. And then when you wear clothes, the lint from your clothes sticks to the tape. And so it's like black. Super cool. So anyway, that's what I spent most of my time doing in the shower today. I was trying to get that tape off, but I was not successful. But I'm also not going to show you. Anyway, so other than that, doing great hip-wise. But I promised you a little trip back to the past today. So I'm going to kind of pick up where I left off, which is, as I said, that first night that I was dropped off with my very first foster family. I would spend ages 11, and in March of 1984, I had just turned 11 in February. So I was freshly 11, and I would live with 3 different foster families until the summer of age 14, when my aunt and uncle asked me to come and live with them and be a permanent part of their family. So I got dropped off, as I said, and what they do is they just kind of plunk you down with strangers. It was very scary. But if I'm being completely honest, it wasn't as scary as every day in my home, right? So this scary was still better than what I had, right? And where I lived, and living with my stepfather and a mother who couldn't protect me. So I remember it vividly. I could see the house vividly. And again, I'm not going to share the names of this first family. They are very dear to me. And we are still in contact through Facebook and social media. And it's such a blessing. So I do want to make sure I keep them private. My family knows who they are, and they are just absolutely wonderful people. And they were a blessing, and have had a lasting impact on my life, even that short time that I was with them. So I remember vividly, they had a beautiful ranch outside of the Quad Cities in Iowa. And it was just such a beautiful area in Bluegrass, Iowa. And huge ranch, huge yard. It felt like a mansion to me. My aunt and I always joke when I was a little girl, and I would go over to their house, and I believe it was like a 2-bedroom house. And but my aunt, very much like me, was a fastidious housekeeper, and it was beautifully maintained. And I always said, God, it felt like I was coming to a castle whenever I would come and visit them. We still get a giggle out of that. So anyway, I remember coming in the back door with my social worker and my new foster mom was there to greet me, and she was just a big beating heart. And my new foster father was, I believe, at the dining room table. I have this vision of him sitting in the dining room table lengthwise, and he was sitting right in front, and then there was a big window like at the long end, and he was kind of lit up by the sunshine, and he was blonde and just, he almost looked like just a grown male angel, and just had this big, huge smile, and they were just so warm and welcoming, even though I was scared, and you feel so awkward. These are strangers, and I'm 11, and like at the time I felt so, worldly is not going to be the right word, but I didn't feel young, and maybe it was because I'd been exposed to so much, and wasn't protected from some of the the crimes of the world, if you will. But when I say the words out loud now as a 47-year-old woman, right? I was 11. I was a baby. But I wasn't. And it's just such an awkward feeling. Anyway, as I said, we had to leave the house right away. So it was a weird night. But when we got home, I was tucked into my new bedroom. I'm sorry, I have something in my teeth. I would edit that out, but I'm trying to be as real as possible. I just flossed. I have no idea what it could be. Anyway, I would share a bedroom with their oldest daughter, and we had our twin beds, and I can't remember if it was that first night, but every night we would say our prayers. I told you in the last video that my first family was very involved in their church, and were very devout Christians. And I was raised, I use the word raised loosely, but I was baptized Catholic, and would go to church whenever I was with my grandma or my aunt and uncle. So this was a new kind of church, but we would say our prayers every night when we would go to bed. And we would start our prayers with, Dear Jesus, thank you for this day. And thank you for everything that you've given me and everybody you've given me. I may have added or changed that a little bit over the years, but to this day, I still start my prayers every day that very same way. Thank you for this day. And that was one of the things that has stayed with me from that very first family. I was rotten. I did not know how to behave, really. I did not know how to be a part of a family. I tried really hard to be a good girl, but I was so, I guess, desperate for attention, right? Positive or negative, it didn't matter to me. And I acted out a lot, and I'm fairly certain I was mean to the girls who were my sisters. My way of punishing the people in my life at the time was the silent treatment, which is so effective, right? But what it really is it's really cruel. And I remember doing that a lot. And I'm so sorry for that. It was just awful. But I didn't know any better. I tried to give myself some grace. And they tried to teach me that that wasn't appropriate behavior. I did learn that eventually. I may not have learned it while I was there, but I did learn that the silent treatment was a very cruel and ineffective way to punish the people that you love, right? So I very quickly, I remember being in the car, and here you are, you're living with a family, you're supposed to be their child, right? But they're not really your mom or dad. But I remember you know, not calling them that. And this is for everybody out there. If you're ever like in the scenario where you take in a child, or calling them mom and dad was really important to me, because it made me feel like then I belonged there and I was really part of the family. And so I remember being in the car with my foster mom, and I was trying to get up the nerve to ask her if I could call her mom. And I remember being a little bundle of nerves and anxiety. And you feel so awkward. And this is such an adult thing that you are trying to navigate. And your little brain isn't ready. We don't know how to do that yet. But so I'm trying to find the right way to say it the right way, to let her know that I loved her and my foster dad and wanted to belong to them. And the only way that I felt I could do that is if I called them mom and dad. So I remember getting up the nerve finally in the car. I don't know why we were alone. I don't know why nobody else was with us, but we were alone in the car. And I have a fun car story too that they may not remember. But she said yes, of course. And I remember saying, do you think, my foster dad, do you think it'll be okay if I call him dad? And I did. And it just, again, it feels weird and it feels awkward because they're not. But I know for me, it was just a really important step to take, right? I loved these people and I wanted to be theirs. And that was how I felt that I could get as close to them as possible. I remember one time we were in the car, and we lived Bluegrass at the time. There was not a lot around there. And so we would mostly, I don't even know if there was a grocery store in the way that we go to the grocery store now, these huge, Jewel and Mariano's and Pete's Mart, like all these huge places, right? I don't remember a grocery store, but I remember the Casey's General Store. We would go there a lot. And there was like gas station too, and then you'd park like right in front of the front door. And at the time, my foster mom drove a car with a manual transmission or a stick shift. And I remember being in the front, and she ran in to get something. And if I'm remembering correctly, I think maybe my younger foster sister was in the back, and I decided that would be a good time to learn how to use the stick shift. And so I accidentally, but really not an accident because I was messing with it on purpose, but I didn't know what it would do. I put the car in neutral, and I believe it started to roll backwards towards the gas pumps. Pretty foggy memory after the car started to roll away from the door. Probably fear has blocked that for me. But I believe my foster mom saw the car start to roll away, and she may have run out there and jumped in and hit the brake before we hit one of the gas pumps or after. I'm a little foggy on that. But that was one episode that I believe may have guided them towards not keeping me permanently. So I also think I should tell you that when I moved in with with that first foster family, they were only 18 years older than me. They're actually the same age as my aunt and uncle who raised me, and actually went to high school together and knew each other. So they were only 29 years old when they took me and all of my problems and baggage and misbehavior into their beautiful home. And I was very disruptive. And if I were to guess, I imagine the straw that broke the camel's back was that little shoplifting incident I told you about in a previous video. I think I told you, right? Anyway, I remember being home at night in the family room watching TV, and my foster father was there just watching TV. And my foster mother comes in the house furious and now I thought I had gotten away with this. My grandma came to my rescue, did all the paperwork. This happened when I was, at my grandma's for a weekend. I never said anything. My grandma would never say anything. I thought I got away with it. I did not. And she got a letter in the mail from, I don't even know. I don't know if it's from the police department. I don't know if it was from like juvenile. Who knows? I was 11. I wasn't a major felon. I don't know who sends those letters at that point. The court? I don't know. The system. I was busted. She found out that this happened, that I got in big trouble, that I was whatever, processed, whatever happens when you're 11. And I felt pretty rotten. And I think that was just it for them. I was too much of a disruption to their family. I know they loved me, but I wasn't theirs. As much as I wanted to be somebody's, I wasn't theirs. And at the end of my 6th grade year, so when I was 12, I was removed from their home and taken to my second foster family. So I will tell you more about them in another video and my experience there. It was very dramatic, if I'm being honest. But I have so many wonderful memories from that first home and my first taste of what it is to have a family and somebody caring for you and looking out for you. And if they're watching this or if they see this, I hope they know how very much I still love them. And I'm so grateful for what they did give me. And am grateful that they, to be honest, that they didn't keep me, because then I never would have gotten to have my forever family with my aunt and uncle. So that's a little bit more of my past, and I'm sure we'll get deeper into it, but I'll share a little more with you next time. Thank you so much for listening, for being with me as I kind of go through these memories and try to continue to get to know myself as deeply as possible. I think there's power in knowing who you are. It feels a little self-indulgent. It feels self-centered. But I think for us to be the best that we can be for others in our life, we really need to know who we are. So I'm so grateful that you're on that journey with me as I lay here and get my hip moved around for all these hours every day. But I love you so very much, and I'm so grateful that you're here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.